Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining. At CIQ, we're focused on powering the next generation of software infrastructure, leveraging the capabilities of cloud, hyperscale, and HPC. From research to the enterprise, our customers rely on us for the ultimate Rocky Linux, Werewolf, and Apptainer support escalation. We provide deep development capabilities and solutions, all delivered in the collaborative spirit of open source. Mr. Ford, how are you?
Mr. Hamilton, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent.
As long as my microphone sounds all right today. I'm always nervous now. The one
Clear as a
time it
bell.
was a mess, now it's okay-ish.
I decided to take the wireless out of the equation, so I'm just
I
using
see
this for
that. I see that. I actually got new ones today, so I'm hoping that they're working too. Had some issues with that. It's just been an interesting week. So welcome.
Yeah,
We are minus a person this week.
we are.
Rose is off doing other fun stuff, so I'm sure she's out there watching. Just say hi. Hey, Rose.
Absolutely.
Welcome
Hey,
from the
Rose.
outside. So I think we've got some big things going on next week. We're going to be at Google Next, and I'm pretty excited about that. I think there's a lot of things that we can talk about there, but I think there's something else that I would like to dive into real quick. We've had a lot of questions coming in. I've had some tickets open with people concerned about it. Let's dive into this XZ Utils hack. I know you and I have talked about it over chat a little bit, but it's really interesting at how this whole thing took place.
So I'll get. So obviously this is a challenge, right? But I was reading about what was going on, and I used the word. I sent this to you earlier. I guess almost Machiavellian in its patience and its subterfuge. Like, it was actually pretty interesting to see. But honestly, it was wild. Just a utility that I don't think about much, that most people probably don't think about much. Very mundane, an XC compression utility, and very sophisticated backdoor that was built in that would, under the right conditions, give someone complete remote access to someone's Linux machine, which has all sorts of implications. With the fact that most everything runs on some flavor of enterprise Linux, so I just thought it was wild to read about. I'm glad it was caught. I'll say that. That's the other part too. I know you're going to talk, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you the other part of that as well is just somebody just happened upon it just because of a memory issue and did some sleuthing, which was equally wild to me.
Microsoft developer on SQL.
Yes,
Microsoft SQL.
sure.
They noticed there was something consuming resource for some unknown reason. But yeah, I mean, to me, that becomes the beauty of open source, that you can actually go look and see what's going on here, and then file a bug, and people start digging in. Found it before it ever actually made it mainstream. So it was very much an upstream version. It only made it into specific Linux versions. I think it was Arch, Debian, Ubuntu, Kali Linux. There were a few, but it was only if you were using that very new unstable version. So it was the unstable Linux. It did not make it into RHEL or any RHEL variant, Rocky, Alma. None of those actually inherited this problem. So great thing about open source. People finding things.
I will say everything about open source. It's just one of these stories, because I've been in open source for some time, and I don't pretend to be a developer of open source, but I think it's just one of those things that makes it interesting, and there's a value add for open source that someone was able to catch this. And it's not the first time this has happened, obviously, but someone was able to catch it, let the community know, have it remediated, have that fix and information disseminated within a matter of, whether it was 1 or 2 days, but it's something that was caught very quickly. I think that is a good story, even with the challenge that it presented.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to remember the way that they actually defined the hack. There was a name for it.
I'm looking as well.
Hold on. I'll get there. Maybe.
Are you talking about the score of it? Or?
There you are.
Yeah.
No, software supply chain hack. I don't know why it took me a second to recall it. Software supply chain hack. So the other part, when I started looking at this, is what other hacks have taken place that were the same thing. And the one that actually comes up is the biggest software supply chain hack that happened in 2020. SolarWinds.
Oh, okay.
Hack was the same type. They went through several classifications, but when they finally finished, it actually landed as the same type of attack.
That's wild.
Yeah. There were several others in there as well, but it's interesting how you did say it took a long time, and the amount of effort and time it took. He started developing in that community in 2021, or this person did, but the account did. in 2021 worked their way up, became a co-maintainer, and then started publishing code that didn't have to be checked because of the level they got to. So there was a level of investment for sure from a timing perspective.
Absolutely. So, and obviously that brings up implications of who was it. I'm sure it wasn't one person. It was probably multiple persons involved. But yeah, just from a story perspective, that's patience.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest part of this one is it doesn't affect Rocky, and we're good.
For sure. Most important part.
Absolutely. I forgot to talk about the backpack before we started. We can talk about that at the end too. I don't have the backpack. I don't have a picture of it. I can't find it. Rose had it, and I lost it. But for the 1,000th person that shows up as a subscriber to us, we will be giving away a Rocky Linux backpack. So we want to make sure. I haven't looked to see where we are today in terms of the number of subscribers, but I know we were getting close. We were within like 30 last time I checked. Let's see. Yep, we're
972.
28 people. So not too long. So look for that. We will find a picture of it and we will get that out. Thanks, Matt, for telling me the 972 after I found it. Appreciate it.
If you, we can join this later, but we have the document with the backpack as well.
Excellent. So one of the other things I see on here that I wanted to knock out real quick is FIPS. So I want to talk about FIPS. I know Greg Kurtzer actually put out a post on LinkedIn and probably went other places as well. We're talking about FIPS and CIQ's commitment to open source. And those repositories for FIPS are actually open sourced right now. You can go look at the code. We spent a lot of time in the development of those, working through. It's all copyleft. So that source code is out there. You can go see what we've done. It's all with the lab. So we're trying to do everything as open and transparent as we can. And that's who we are at CIQ. We have several open source projects. For those that don't know, we've got Apptainer. It's been open source for a very long time, which actually stemmed from Singularity. Now it's Apptainer. Werewolf has been out there for, almost 20 years. Rocky Linux, Ascender. So we are all about open source. We develop, and all of our open source projects are out there. You can take a look at them, try them, play with them, help contribute back. We'd love to have other people in there helping. It'd be fantastic. So I know there's a very large communities around a lot of those. Ascender is fairly new. I would love to see the Ascender community grow. Give Michael some help. So that would be fantastic.
For sure.
Really appreciate it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about FIPS. I think the next thing we really should dive into now is CIQ's 4th birthday. 4 years, Michael.
That came up really quick. And actually, from a personal perspective, February the 13th was a year for me, and that year has gone by very quickly. And I've had a good time working with you again. When I showed up for some time, and then all my other peers, getting to know folks here. It's just been really great. So, but yes, 4 years. That came as a surprise. Time is flying.
It was odd for me as well, because I've been here 2.5 years, and I feel like I've been here the whole time, but I missed out on some. I don't know. I started seeing the 4-year anniversary announcements come out, like Matt, who reminded me about the note. 4-year announcement. It's crazy. It's so close. It's fantastic. But really appreciate everything you guys do, especially those of you who were in the beginning. Thank you for creating this place so that we'd have a fun place to come, be a part of open source, and be a part of something new and exciting. So thank you all.
Absolutely.
All right, Michael, we're going to next week.
Yeah.
I keep having to say next, and it's making me stutter a little bit. So what are we doing? What are we going to be doing in next?
So I'll say this. I could not be more excited to be at Google Next. So I'll speak personally from my past year here, but I've built some great relationships on top of existing ones at Google Cloud. It had some new relationships that have been, I've been building over the past year. Has resulted in some great insight into customer use cases for tools that we provide, such as Rocky Linux and Ascender. And this is our first time that we're going to be able to have a booth at the expo at Google Next in order to have customers and prospects come up to us. We have a whole small army of people that are going to be there from the sales team, you and Zane, you and myself included, and we'll be there to answer all your questions about Rocky Linux, Ascender, which is our Ansible product that we are supporting and developing, and just really looking forward to that. A couple things I want to point out here on my list of things that we'll be able to talk about in particular, including but not limited to the Google Marketplace offerings for Rocky Linux from CIQ. We now have the official HPC image for Google Cloud, is sitting on top of Rocky Linux 8, which I think is very exciting. That's available now. There's all sorts of Google optimized Rocky Linux images available on Google Cloud. That's been the case, but we have some other announcements that are going to come next week as well. And then this is kind of my background, and I've already said it once, but one thing I think is a little bit underrated is Ascender. So if you're talking about managing your Google Cloud environments, we can talk about that, but it's one of those things that it's just the tip of the iceberg. What do you want to automate? What do you want to manage? What do you want to give people access to in a safe, guided way? Ascender is a great way to enable that automation and management to people of all sorts of technical expertise levels and domain expertise. And we can use it to manage everything, not just Google Cloud, but obviously that as well. And I'm looking forward to having, you and I be able to talk about that with some detail and talk about how you can deploy on Google Cloud as well. So those are my bullet points. And also the last thing is, I don't know if I said this, if we look at the expo, we'll be at booth number 231.
That's right. I have been getting notes from a lot of people who want to stop by the booth and see us. Some of them are people we've worked with in the past, Michael. So it's going to be fun to see some of the people from 3 or 4 years ago. It's going to be good. And then a lot of customers want to stop by and talk about how they can utilize this in the cloud and what that private offer looks like from a marketplace perspective, and how does that work across on-prem, cloud, multi-cloud. So please come by, come talk to us. Love to have those conversations. Got a lot going on with Google. There's a lot of announcements that are going to be coming out while we're there. Really excited about those. Doing a lot of building of specific images for specific things that we'll be talking about and releasing while we're there. So please come by. Love to see you and explain kind of more of what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing with Google. I'm excited to meet the Google people. I know we've got some really deep relationships with some of the account teams, but they're being very kind and taking us into some other Google relationships to help some of their customers who are having some of the same challenges that we're working on with some of the other partners that we've got. So really looking forward to just growing that relationship. I'm also looking forward to the C2C event. I've really enjoyed those. I'm glad you found that and kind of brought that to our attention as something that we should be a part of. I've been to 3 of those now. Fantastic events. So that's something else I would encourage anybody out there who's a Google customer and looking for a way to get involved in Google. Go check out C2C. It's actually a fantastic place to go meet your peers, other leaders in the industry, and kind of see what they're doing and how they're using cloud. And they don't always just talk about cloud. Sometimes it is other things that are just challenges for people. So I know right now they're focusing heavily on AI. They've done a lot of storage. That's been a good one. The other ones are coming on the roadmap. But those are great events. They've actually got an entire event going on while we're there too. So looking forward to seeing that one.
I'll say kind of as a side note. So there's actually 2 offices here in Chicago. There's the traditional Google office where all the other business units are. They actually single-handedly brought back the meatpacking district, Fulton Market. A lot of restaurants and stuff came up when they came to that office. There's a separate office for Google Cloud, but the C2C event is at the traditional Google office. And I just happened upon it one day, just went there, and did not realize how powerful it was, how many folks show up there. It's great for exchanging ideas, to your point. And also one thing, he couldn't make it. He ended up getting sick before he could go to that event. But to your point, not just about Google products. One of my favorite folks in tech is Kelsey Hightower, who until recently worked for Google Cloud, one of the best storytellers I've ever seen, very entrenched in just Kubernetes in general and GKE. That was an event where it wasn't anything product related. It was just kind of a fireside chat with Kelsey Hightower. That's kind of the events that, just the gamut of what can be talked about at those C2C events. I think they're really valuable, and they're no cost.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. I actually had one of the ones I went to was in Austin. The gentleman who runs infrastructure, I think the infrastructure lead for HEB, it's a grocery store company, was talking about telescopes and the invention of the telescope and kind of walking through that, and then tied it back to processors. It was a really neat, like, hey, this guy's talking about telescopes. It was a fantastic talk. So it again, C2C is not always just about tech. There's a lot going on there, and it's just a great place to go meet people in your industry, and maybe not in your industry, but your peers. So really well done. I think Justin went to the one in LA that looked amazing from the pictures he sent. It was fantastic for media and entertainment. Looked really cool.
For sure. Yeah.
Then I know they...
Good. No,
you first.
I think it was in like I didn't know that. Was it in like some Howard Hughes hangar
Something
or
like that.
something like right? And I was
Yeah,
like, would never have guessed they would have made an office out of that, but they did. It looked amazing.
they do look amazing. Yeah. So I'm also looking forward to some of the other partner events that we've got at Next. I think there's a whole list. I know Dave Dickerson's been kind of compiling a list of all the different places that people are hosting events for customers of Google. So I'm not sure if I think it's a public link that we could actually share. So if you're looking for things to do at Next other than coming and talking to us at the booth, there are a lot of other things going on, especially after hours, other events, other vendors putting on different happy hours, dinners, parties, those kind of things. So check those out. I'll see if we can post that link. That'd be a good thing to go look at. Um, yeah, I'm just really excited, ready to get there, ready to get this going.
I'll say I'm taking it easy this week because I know next week's going to be nuts. So
May not get a lot of sleep. It's going to
yes,
be long days. I hope. I hope.
a good kind of busy. So
Absolutely.
looking forward to that.
I actually closed my chat window, so now I can't see if anybody's asking questions.
Okay.
Let me fire it back up. No. All right. Covered most of what I wanted to cover, Michael. I wanted to make sure we gave an update on the XYZ or the XZ Utils and FIPS, and then obviously next is going to be big. Everybody's kind of trying to get rest. Where can we find the link that Dave's putting together? I don't think Dave's put it together. I think he just knows where it is, so we will find that. So we thank you for asking that question.
Oh, there was a question about where we're going to be.
Yeah, where can we find that Dave's magic link of different events going on at Next? So yeah, I don't have a lot else to say. I'm excited. I too am trying to kind of settle down a little bit. Been talking to a lot of customers this week, and there's going to be a lot of people there. I'm trying to not get too excited and overstep those conversations that we need to have in person. Really looking forward to the in-person part of it, though. I think there's a lot of people that we've been talking to for the last 2 years that we haven't talked to in person that I'm excited about.
That's honestly the biggest thing I think is going to come out of this is being on the floor, having a big presence. I'll say there's been a lot of talk about Rocket Linux that I've observed in the last year that I've been here. And so that by itself, I think is going to really encourage some very in-depth conversations, learning about how customers are using it, learning about how we can help those customers be more successful, and then building that partnership with Google. So yes, I think we touched on that, but that's my 2 cents to add.
Absolutely. And Dave, good to see you again. Appreciate you showing up, Dave Rush. Talking about Texas Linux Fest is going to be on April 12th and 13th in Austin. So if you're in Austin, I think that we have a couple people going to be there. I know the Rocky guys will be there, but I think CIQ will have a couple people there as well. So stop by. If you don't make it to Next and you want to come see us at the Texas Linux Festival. It's going to be real fast, back to back. Come home and get right back to work. For some people.
For sure. The only thing is I wish, because I looked, there's not a Chicago event for C2C afterwards. I know some of these, sometimes they have a post Next event at C2C. And to your point, there is going to be one, but it's not going to be here. But
are they doing a virtual one by chance? Because it seems they've got a really good virtual presence as well. They have a lot of virtual meetups, which is another fantastic thing. They've got like far more localized social events that are virtual. It's pretty cool.
I'll confess, I haven't looked at the virtual ones as much. I know that there's one in Atlanta after Next. I don't know if that's a here's what happened at Next event, but I think that one will be. I'm looking forward to that one. May make my way down to Atlanta. There's a couple others that are escaping me right now, but I'll check the virtual ones as well.
Excellent. Yeah, stop by the booth. We're gonna have swag, a lot of stickers, T-shirts, hats. We better have hats. I think we do. No, that's a big ask. And I still have. Jess will be happy. I still have several of these left. I think you should put one on Titan, but it's Rocky Linux handkerchiefs.
Oh, I will absolutely put that on him.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. So yeah, I've got a big box of those to take with me as well. So all kinds of new stuff this year. Exciting.
Like awesome.
So, Michael, I appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. Looking forward to seeing the team. Really appreciate everything you do. I know you spend a lot of time, especially on Google Cloud for Ascender. It's going to be an exciting way to deploy things. Just looking forward to it, man. Really appreciate it.
Likewise, it'll be good to see you as always. Good to see all the folks that I don't normally see on a regular basis in person, and it'll be good to talk to everyone in person as well, as far as people at Google Next as a whole.
Absolutely. So, guys, we really appreciate the time. We're looking forward to seeing you. Stop by the booth again. I forgot what booth number. 231.
231.
231. Stop by 231. Come see us. Again, looking for the 1,000th subscriber. Once we hit the 1,000th subscriber, we will draw someone at random to give the backpack to. No, if you work for CIQ, you are still not eligible. You know who you are. So keep watching for that. Come back next week. Actually, we won't have one. We won't have a webinar next. Come back the week after, and we will probably talk about what we learned, what we announced, kind of what we were doing at Next, and hopefully have some exciting new stories to tell you. But we really appreciate it. Guys, like and subscribe, and we will see you soon.
All right. Zane, good to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you.